Hello, I'm Steve Shoemaker with Ideal Homes, and we are in Red Canyon Ranch today at one of our homes that we have available. And I brought a special guest today. This is Lisa Stitt, who has many titles, but is the founder and senior stager of Oklahoma Home Impressions or Home Staging Impressions.
Oklahoma Impressions Home Staging.
I knew I was going to mess that up. Thank you
good.
for being patient
with
me. And I'm going to get to Lisa in a minute and tell you why she's here, and she's going to do more talking than I am. But usually when we do a video, we're talking about home design or construction. But half of our home buyers, which will be about 200 this year, have a home to sell before they buy a home from us. And so we always get asked, what are some tips that you have on selling my home? What should I do? What are the best practices? And number one, and I think you'd agree, Lisa, we always tell them, hire a great real estate agent that knows the area well to help you list your home and to get top dollar. However, there is a kind of a next level of selling your home. Everybody wants to sell their home quickly, right?
Correct.
And they want to get top dollar, right?
Correct.
And it's not just enough to list your home and put it online or on the MLS and just hope that buyers show up. When you get those buyers that come look at your home, you want it to be prepared well. So we're in a completed field home that's available for sale now. But one of the things that we use Lisa for at Ideal Homes is we'll bring her in and have her stage our home. So that's what we're here today, is talk about home staging. Now, we're a little bit of a unicorn because mostly you work with people that live in their home. Correct. And are trying to stage it to sell it. We take an empty home and turn it over to you and say, hey, help us put some furniture in here, some accessories that will show people how you might live in this home. So you can see behind us some of the work she's done in this home. So she wrote an incredible blog post for us. It's on our website, idealhomes.com. And it was so good that I said, will you come meet with me and let me pick your brain for realtors out there, for our home buyers that have a home to sell, on the staging concept, and you're the local expert. So you kind of touched on 4 things in your blog post, so I'm going to have you talk a little bit about it. So first of all, give a broad concept of what staging is.
Staging is actually the process of prepping your home for sale. And it's very deliberate. There are lots of key concepts that we use, but each home is unique and the people living in it are unique. So we go in and we kind of customize a plan for each family on what they need to do to get their house ready to sell, how they need to live in the house, what's on the market, and kind of giving them some safety directions too to protect their privacy while they're on the market.
And it's very different because I know my parents sold their home last year and they were empty nesters. That's a little bit different than when I'm selling my home next year and I have 3 boys under the age of 12.
Right.
And so different ways you live in the home require different ideas, right?
Sure.
Yeah, including just the mess everywhere with kids and keeping it clean, which is the number one challenge of parents.
Well, and I have a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I understand that you can take a shower and come back and they've completely annihilated your house.
They will screw up our room in like 5 seconds, kids will.
Really, really.
Yeah.
So
step 1, if you have kids and have a home to sell, have them go live with someone else for a few months. Is that a good plan?
Yeah, or camp.
Yeah, send them to camp in the summer. Perfect. Okay, so 4 things. Pre-pack. What is pre-packing? This is step 1 of staging.
Well, you can declutter, and that's just getting rid of stuff that you don't want. That's having a garage sale, it's donating to the Salvation Army, giving things to Goodwill. Anybody can declutter. Pre-packing is specifically for the person that is moving, and it is taking stuff that they know they want to keep, but going ahead and getting it out of the house. And that helps a lot with the illusion that the home is bigger than what it is. Going back to children, I usually recommend that each child gets a tub, and then their favorite toys, stuffed animals, books, or whatever go in the tub. And then if you have 3 children, you just have 3 tubs of stuff, and everything else gets pre-packed. And so that limits the disaster zone to just 3 tubs. So again, kind of customizing to the individual seller and what it is their needs are and how getting the house on the market is going to affect their family.
And you can rent a storage unit, which, $30 a month. It's
totally worth it.
I know it hits your cash flow, but it's totally worth getting a storage unit. And you'll be surprised at the stuff you put in there that you actually don't need.
Yes.
Seasonal stuff, toys, stuff the kids won't miss, but just prepacking. I loved in your blog post, you said, spoiler alert, you're going to move anyway. You're going to have to pack.
Everything comes out of the house.
Yeah, you're going to have to pack this stuff anyway. And so take the initiative to do it up front. Not just declutter, which is clean it up, but pre-pack stuff and get it out.
It breaks the process down into 2 more manageable parts. So if you can get half the stuff packed up, not only will you have a better return on your house, but you've already done half the work so that when you go under contract and you have 30 days to get out of your house, the rest of the packing becomes a lot more manageable.
Okay, step 2, furniture placement.
Yes.
This seems like an obvious thing that people think about all the time. So in the context of staging your home, talk about furniture placement.
Going back to, again, having too much stuff, a lot of times you have too much furniture in the house. Something like taking out the man chair and moving it off.
Why is it always the man chair that gets thrown out? That's not fair. Yeah.
So going through deciding what it is that you actually need, and sometimes even just shifting the bed over a couple of inches or moving the couch over a couple of inches can really open up the space. Or sometimes just locking things in a little bit closer and freeing up some areas around.
You said something, angles eat up square footage, and I really like that. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, but what you mean is if you have furniture that's at an angle on a corner or whatever, that's going to make your home seem a lot smaller. So
right.
Put it square, is that what you're talking about?
So if you have an armoire cabinet and you put it up in the corner, you've lost the corner. Same thing with beds. Sometimes you'll put a bed at an angle in a corner, and again, you're losing that square footage that's back behind. You want everything flush against the wall.
And it doesn't mean that that's bad. You live in your house any way you want, but when staging it for sale, you want your home to, for lack of a better term, look better, bigger than it is.
Yes.
And you want people to be able to imagine how they would put their furniture in the home. So
sometimes you can even go through and you'll have a room that has too much stuff in it, and then you'll have another room that doesn't have enough stuff, and you can kind of redistribute and kind of even things out a little bit too, kind of like a teeter-totter. So.
Okay. So pre-pack, get rid of the man chair, don't have stuff at an angle. Okay, depersonalize.
Okay.
This is interesting what you wrote about depersonalizing, because I've always heard depersonalizing was you don't want your personal stuff in the home because it's going to distract people from wanting that home or seeing who's lived there, but you kind of took a different angle with this.
Well, as you can see behind me, none of this stuff is going to belong to the buyer. It's all from my storage unit or from a furniture company. And so when people are walking through the house, they're looking at stuff that isn't theirs. What you want to do is you want to make sure that as someone is coming through your personal home, that you don't have diplomas up, that your children's names aren't up on the wall, family names, photos. What ends up happening is that stuff ends up in the MLS pictures, and then it goes out online. And the internet is an incredible tool, but you have to use it appropriately. So now you have pictures of your little girls, their names on the wall, the address of where they live, what school they go to, and it just ends up being way too much information. So you want to get all the personal stuff out of the house so that you just protect the safety of your family.
So it's a privacy issue as much as a just decluttering whatever.
It is, and that's one of the solutions that we have to come up with is, you have a wall where you've put family photos up, and now you've lost that artwork. What are we going to do to fill in those gaps? So
when thinking about pre-packing, the photos on the walls, family, personal, that's a great place to start.
It is. And a lot of times, by the time people get all that stuff out, sometimes that's just all they have to do. So.
Okay. All right, number 4, neutralize. What does that mean?
When you move into a house, you start personalizing it, and sometimes you paint, and sometimes you shouldn't have painted. You do it anyway, and if you love it, then that is fine. But when you go to put it back on the market, going through and really bringing it back down to the original color is usually a really good idea. Just because if somebody walks in and doesn't like what you've done, that's already they have a to-do list.
Yeah.
You really want the house to be as
nobody wants to move into a total fixer-upper. Right.
Oh, and pay full price for it too. So.
Yeah, and it's good to think. I mean, I'll confess, even on new construction, you've staged some of our new construction homes. So brand new home, just on the market, new construction, and you've called me and said, hey, you might want to rethink the paint in this bathroom. Nobody in Oklahoma is going to buy the blaze orange. In Norman, Oklahoma, a mile from OU.
That just happened once. Usually they're very on point with it.
No, but you've also done that with our model homes. When we move out of a model home, we move all the furniture out, and then we sell it. But we have very unique paint schemes that went with the model. But once it's empty, you're like, yeah, you're probably going to want to tone this down a little bit. So think about those bright rooms, the kids' room that you let them pick out the paint for, the crazy stuff.
We have that too.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids have gone in and customized their rooms, and they should. That's where they live. But if we go to put our house on the market ever, that's one of the things that we'll have to do is repaint the kids' rooms.
Okay. So pre-pack, think about furniture placement, depersonalize, and neutralize. Is there anything else that pops in your mind that's something somebody needs to think about when they're staging?
Just make sure you have a good realtor. And there are lots of really good home staging professionals out there that really know what they're doing.
She's so modest.
It is well worth the money. People think that staging is expensive, but it is way more expensive to not stage.
Okay. So staging, bottom line, is a great way to get top dollar for your home, your biggest investment you've probably already made, and that you're going to roll that into your next home and for it to sell quicker. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I mean,
Thanks for having me.
I'd love this shameless plug and say, come to Red Canyon Ranch and see the beautiful staging job Lisa's done here. But she's done a great job for us, and I know she'll do a great job for anybody looking to stage their home. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.